Okay, so kicking things off this time for another quarterly crate for the last quarter of 2016. This is one by Peder Mannerfelt. This is on his own label, and it's only the fourth release on it so far. I remember at the beginning, I think the first release was on almost like on a white label kind of record. Certainly it wasn't, didn't have a fancy cover like this one. But Peder Mannerfelt's had quite a lot of stuff out recently. He's starting to pop up even on labels like Numbers, getting quite a lot of hype, I guess. But quite a great range of stuff that he's doing at the moment. It's more like quite a short tune there. Getting into the next one. Process. He's also done a little bit of production with Perk and Randomer as well, on Per's recent album. Yeah, those ones are fine, but it's actually the inside one that I like the most here. I'll play the intro track here as well. Nice kind of dreamy set opener, that one maybe. It's the one I like. Kind of reminds me a bit of old Tube Jerk or something like that. Some great sounds in that one. Yeah, keep an eye on Peder Mannerfelt. He's bringing out lots of stuff. That one happens to be on his own label as well, so yeah, watch out for that. This one is by STL, a German producer whose real name I forget. Somehow I know his real name. I don't know why. Maybe just from reading the odd bit of press or something about him. But yeah, he does this kind of like spooky sort of house that I like. But actually, this one's it's a typical kind of STL track. But whatever it is about his tunes or his records, I always tend to just play either. Sometimes he has these really short tracks, and there could be just a nice loop there that I like to use. But what I invariably end up doing is with a lot of his stuff is, like, the tracks are all nice and they'll work at certain points, but I usually find something like this. And most of STL's records I use as intros, actually. So this is, which is actually just the outro to the last track here. This is actually probably what I'm using the most off this record. It might seem like a little bit of a cop out. I'll probably play one of the other ones again, but this one, sorry, just so we know, it's on Something Records, which is his label, and it's actually number 29, so he's racked up quite a few. But if you go through his discography, there's definitely a few gems here and there. Again, this one, yeah, I think that's my favourite kind of beatsy track on that anyway. Going on to the next one here, we've got one from Levon Vincent on his own label, Novel Sound. Yeah, Levon Vincent, he gets out a fair few records actually. Every one of them seems to come with a lot of fanfare. I don't know why that is. It's kind of like, do artists need huge press pushes every time they release a new EP? I don't know, but whatever it is about Levon Vincent, whenever he has a new record out, it's like everybody, creams themselves, and it's mentioned absolutely everywhere. In the case of this record, though, it's worth knowing that it's out because it's quite a good one. So one I've been playing. Yeah, nice new elements starting to work their way in as it gets towards the end of the track. And I think it was the one before this that he did like a cover version of Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells as well. But I've got to say, I think I'm preferring this one. In fairness, they're quite functional loopy tracks, you know. Let's not say they're much more than that, but definitely nice ones for DJing with. Now, this one by NX1, the Spanish duo, who have slowly but surely, well, maybe not slowly actually, they've been racking them up. This is number 9 actually. So as we say, swiftly but surely, getting out a lot of quite rugged techno tracks on their label. Yeah, and I like that they're putting them all out through their own channel, through their own label. For me, it's now becoming a buy on site label. I've liked all of them, and even though they're all in the kind of harder edged area, I found that there has been noticeable differences between each of the releases as well. There's definitely some considered choices being made from record to record to make sure that they don't all sound the same, as is often the case with a lot of labels that put stuff out quite close together, or a number of 4 or 5 releases in a year, or whatever it is that a lot of labels do now. Bass pressure in that one. Moving on now, this is by a producer called Och, and this is on Trelik, which is Baby Ford's label, which has had a few. This has been going for quite a while actually, this label, but kind of on and off, a little bit maybe the way IFAC was, and I'm trying to actually even think, does IFAC still exist as a label? I'm not too sure. Let me see, Trelik, Trelik. I didn't actually see Trelik there, I just said Trelik, but I didn't actually read Trelik Records, and I'm not sure who Och is, but I do know that it has the tracks here do bear some resemblance to some of Baby Ford's material as well, with some really nice vocal samples. Breakdown there. Maybe the breakdown's fairly late on in the track. It's all very nice. A little bit too nice for me now, that one, but first track was really good. Nice shuffly house thing there. That's on Trelik, as I said. Next up is the return. Well, I don't know if he or they. Was Porter Ricks just one person, or was it 2 people? I'm not too sure. Certainly haven't seen anything from Porter Ricks in a long time. Porter Ricks, from what I remember, used to be on D-Jack's Upbeats, I think. Definitely a name, a blast from the past. is like heavily textured stuff with a very submerged kick. Definitely the kind of track that can sound very alive in a certain type of sound system or in a certain type of space. And this is a new one on Tresor. Nice to see them. Get some old names out there. Let's see, should that be on 45? Yeah. Yeah, nice rolling sequences in there. Yeah, for me, kind of more like bridging tracks rather than anything particularly stand out. But can certainly be useful at the right time of the night. That's Puerto Ricks on Tresor. Let's go to this one, which is Exos. And this one is on Thule Records. His trademark dub techno sound. I believe this so well. Now I need to check because there's been quite a lot of stuff on this label that has been reissued. These appear to be new tracks though. Nice drive off that one. Basic channel style. Onto the flip. Yeah, and Exos, he really is, if I'm pronouncing his name right, he really is one of the go-to names for this sound. Can always be guaranteed a solid offering from him. Some people might know him as well from the material he's been doing with Trip, Nina Kravitz's label in the last couple of years. And full respect to her as well. She's been doing taking a lot of chances. Being an all-round adventurous label owner and DJ. It's a nice one again. Now moving on, we've got one from a New York Trax. This one is by Boris Brenecki, if I got the pronunciation right, who is one half of Ontal. And he's some other solo records of his own in the past, but I think this is the first one under his full real name. Boris Noise was the name he used to use before, I think. Stuff there, and now onto the long side. quite hard edge, but each track with its definitely with its own identity. They're not all cut from the same cloth. So another strong one on New York Trax, and also there's a sub-label called New York Imports as well. So but yeah, that's the third release I think on the label so far. Moving on to one from Mord, and actually in ways I probably haven't whatever it's been, I haven't played as many records and Mords in the last year or thereabouts as I may have early on in the series. I can't remember, but I did notice that there's a distinct lack of Mord records on the quarterly crate there for a while, but I've made up for it this time. There's a fair few actually this time. Starting off with this guy Haeken. I've got to say, and I'm sure Bass will agree with me as well. I think sometimes when a lot of records come out on a particular label, when there's a really kind of relentless release schedule, it's hard to keep up with everything, and there's a lot of stuff that gets missed. And I have to say, it is something that has happened to me a lot in the past. I actually begin to not tune out from that label, but I'm a little bit kind of there's just too much coming at once, and I do tend to sometimes switch off to labels when that happens. And for a little while there, I guess maybe that happens with some of the Mord stuff for me, but it still has to be one of the strongest hard techno labels around. And I really like this one, Haeken. Seen this name before, Haeken. I'm not too sure where I know from. What's the dude's name? Dennis Butner. Yeah, some kind of filtered 90s business there. On the flip. Good loop techno stuff. This one actually almost sounds like an old Steve Stahl track or something. It's like something that might have come out on Proper in the 90s. But yeah, certainly for me now, Mords are definitely back on a really good, on a bit of a tear again. This next one, and I've actually got two of it here, and this happens sometimes. I buy stuff a second time. In a way, I'm not catching up on new records that I get as quickly as I should be. This one is another one on Thule Records, and this one is by Thor 54. But yeah, I had two of them, and that one looks to be on a more kind of green. Oh no, is this the same coloured vinyl? Yeah, actually it is. This one's a reissue, and it's by Thor, and I think Thor is actually might be the label owner. And I believe he used to also use the name Thor 54. I could be wrong, I think it is, but if you look back, he did some releases on Missile Records. By the way, in case you didn't know, Thule Records are an Icelandic label who've been doing stuff for quite a few years. But this, yeah, Thor 54, and if I remember, some of the stuff he was doing at that point was kind of disco-y, and he might have had a collaboration or two with Tim Taylor, the Missile Records boss. This one a little bit more atmospheric actually than the one we played by Exos. And this is a reissue actually. Go on to the flip now. I'm not too sure what year it's from. Let's see. Can't see. Oh, 1997. Yeah. So a good 20 years. Do you know what? I got to admit, I'm looking at some of these records, and I'm seeing loads of Juno stickers on them, and I have to hold my hand up. I'm sorry about that. You know, I like Juno it's a very handy service and stuff, and it's great, but it's it's one of my resolutions is to just start getting back into record shops more. I still go to record shops and I still buy stuff in record shops, but I don't get to them as much as possible. Juno do offer a great service, without doubt, but I have to say, when I'm looking through this crate and I'm seeing so many Juno stickers on it, I'm going, fuck's sake, you know, that isn't what I want to be doing. Is to be just lining Juno Records pockets. So I'm going to try and make an extra effort to not do that as much. And I have to say, even though Juno Records are run a really tight ship and are a great company, and and are a good supporter of labels and all the rest, it was very unfortunate that Juno Plus had to be stopped. I thought it was a great source of information, many great features and mixes and all sorts of stuff that went up on it, and really why Juno, who are probably printing money and making a lot of money, why they had to get rid of arguably the best thing that was on their website from an information point of view. It was a great editorial website, just a source of lots of great information that you wouldn't read in other places, and yeah, thumbs down, boo to Juno for letting that go. But let's see, so this is the other side. Yeah, a little bit featureless, that one. There's not a whole lot going on in it. Just one or two elements. Now, going on to the next one. Jonas, Kopp and Pfirter. Two guys who I had the pleasure of playing with at Neopop Festival actually back in August. Two very nice gentlemen, two very good DJs and two very good producers as well. And here they are together. They're both from Argentina. And this one is on Pole Group. Little hint of Jeff Mills, but maybe with a slightly kind of different drum rhythm. Yeah, and there is a lot of this kind of Jeff Mills, Regis sound around. I think both these guys do it fairly well. Ever evolving kind of tracks, lots of movement in them. Now, which one? I think Jonas Kopp. So that one was the A side. There were the Jonas Kopp tracks. These are the first. I actually thought it was a straight up collaboration. It's actually 2 tracks a piece. This is the Pfirter side. Like that one. Reminds me a little bit of old Exium actually. Does it actually? Let me think. Yeah, it does a little. Yeah, nice. I think it's the first one though I'm going for there the most. Okay, we've had the Thor 54 one. This one is by MTD, which is it's an Italian producer. I played with him last year. He's good DJ, and he plays records as well, which is nice to see. This one is on Reflektion. Which is Stranger's label. Yeah, loopy enough stuff. There's quite a lot of that style around, but that one's fairly well produced. Sound good and have quite a lot of presence in a club. This one is on Ambivalence label, aka LA4A. This one is by Physical Therapy. A little bit different to some of the others. Some of the early Delft ones were more about were a little bit more acidy and a definite more 808 styled tracks. more 909ish on this. Now let's get on to the flip. A bit more retro sound in there. Nice rhythm there. This is the one now. This is my pick. Almost a little Terence Fixmery actually. With a definite kind of lurking anger in there as well. Yeah, it's a nice track. Okay, so that's Delft, and that was by Physical Therapy, as I said. This one is on Rekids, which is Radio Slave's label. This is by Markus Suckut. Who's a killer producer, really good producer. For a while, I remember there was a time for a while where some of his stuff sounded quite truncate sounding and quite loopy. I don't know what it's been, but I was still getting the records. But definitely the last year or two, I've been enjoying them even more. Good, dare I say, big room techno, but in the best possible way. But yeah, I think you can work in lots of different settings. Yeah, simple enough stuff, but I know there's always a nice little bit of funk to his grooves. Good wide sounding tracks, and what I like now about some of the stuff he's putting out on Rekids, and actually even on possibly on one or two other labels, is that he's that all of the tracks are taking up like one full side, so they sound especially fat. Obviously, if you're playing it digital, you don't have to worry about stuff like that, but it is something that you can that you think about sometimes when you're playing the records. Okay, that one's okay. I think I'm probably preferring the other side. So fairly straight ahead stuff, but it's really well polished and no doubt gonna sound good out. This one is by Reeko, and this is on Detroit Underground, which is Kiro's label. And again, it sounds similar to some of the stuff he's been doing in recent years. For a long time, Reeko's stuff was sounding very like Surgeon, but in some cases maybe even with a little bit of a slant or a bit of a twist, or yeah, with its own little identity, but definitely very Surgeon influenced a lot of the Reeko stuff. But now I don't know, he's definitely changed the sound a bit in recent years with the architectural stuff. It's not as bald to the wall as it used to be. It's got a lot more atmospheric, but rhythmically it can still be quite interesting too. But yeah, before some of his earlier productions on the likes of Mental Disorder, he would always be going straight for the jugular, very heavy stuff. But he does a lot of these kind of rhythm tracks as well that don't have the kick in them, and I find them quite useful for just placing in certain parts of the set, or maybe even opening up a set with. I remember DJ Slip used to do tracks like that as well. Some of you may remember one he did on Cancel Ramps actually, which had one very effective track in a similar vein. Almost a little bit like Throbbing Grizzle, Hamburger Lady or something. Yeah, I have to say I'm really enjoying stuff Reeko does. I kind of use them at different parts of sets now, though. I wouldn't always use them right in right in the middle or at the prime time. Sometimes they're good to dip down from if you've got quite heavy in the set to make it a bit more atmospheric. But other times it can be good to play in the early part of the set as you're building it up. And some more beatless stuff there. Yeah, altogether a nice range of stuff on that from Reeko. Now, this one is by Andreas Kalfelt. Now, I've been told, I don't know how much truth there is to it, but that there's that this label didn't release this. Maybe they didn't release it with his full permission, or there was something or other. Although I don't really like to speculate, and as they say, don't believe everything that you read on the internet. And to be honest, I did read that on the internet. So yeah, a disclaimer there. I could be completely wrong about that, and it's probably wrong that I even said it. But yeah, who knows? Anyway, Andreas Kalfelt, of course, great producer who sadly died last year, and he made an awful lot of tracks that were still to come out on different labels, and presumably Involve were one of the labels that were going to release them. So maybe that's all that it was. I don't know. Like I said, I shouldn't have even mentioned that, but maybe it was all done in good faith. And actually, I've quite enjoyed some of the Involve records that have been released so far. This is just a 2-tracker, this one. I think this is the one I've been playing the most. Yeah, the Cologne Acid Master, Andreas Kalfelt. He seemed to do that stuff really easily. Really great producer. This one is one. Maybe I'll play the A side. This is actually the next tinfoil release from Defects and Me. This is out on. This is actually out on January the 30th. Got put back by a couple of weeks.
You'll do nothing, you little twerp, yeah?
Who the fuck is that guy? Who knows? Yeah, so I'll just flick through quickly. Yeah, it's not really much to say about it. Yeah, sorry, I don't want to start analysing and reviewing my own tracks, but anyway, yeah, that's Tinfoil 5. The next one is by Slam. It's Slam's new album, and this is presumably on Soma. Yes, it is. Yeah, I like what Slam have been doing. It must be said, some of Slam's stuff is kind of derivative. It's not like you're hearing some of the tracks and going, oh, that has to be a Slam track. But in their defence, the stuff they've been doing has been really, really good. And a few records that they've had over the last few years have been really caning, actually. Ultra well produced. But for this album, there's a little bit more on offer, actually. And how many tracks are there actually? There is 11 altogether. And that's a good thing about a long player. It definitely gives more space to show off different styles and different sounds. Yeah, you know, like we're listening to that now, and it's Sandwell District-y. Is that really where that kind of comes from? When I'm thinking about it, it's definitely where it would appear to come from. It's like this kind of sound is one that has been done over and over for the last 5 years, which is kind of what I was saying at the beginning there. But I think Slammer are doing a fairly nice, effective job of it. So that's that one. That's disc number 1. Now going on to the other. See. Definitely a lot more about the lead there, and then the new one that comes in. Almost turns into another track. And there we are back again. Inside cut, little deeper. And from what I remember, this is the side I was playing a little bit more. Yeah. So that's Slam's album. Now let's go. Let's see. This one is I'll take this one out. Is by what's their names? Mass and Paceman, and it's on Unknown to the Unknown.
Automatic touch. 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 Automatic.
Yeah, sounds very like old Chicago stuff, like Hyperactive or even a little bit Paul Johnson-esque, maybe. Another producer that's popping into my head. I can't think though. But yeah, certainly old school Chicago vibes there. This is the one I've been playing a little bit more. It's a bit more jacking. Playing that one pretty solidly since I got it. Now this one is by Soph, the Greek producer, and this is on Vanilla Records. Number 4. I love these vocal loops sometimes because it could sound like about 5 different things that person is saying there. What is he saying? I'm gonna hazard a guess that he's saying, "Are you mortified?" Yeah? What do you think? Are you mortified? What? Frostbite? No, it's not. It's not like. Give me frostbite. Yeah, give me frostbite. Give me frostbite. Can you quantify? Maybe. Can you quantify? Maybe, I think that could be. Anyway. Broken beats there, which that label is known for so far. Kind of machine gun picks there again. Like that. It's funny sometimes when I do this, I play a record and I've been playing another track off it, and then I hear another one and I go, hang on, why haven't I been playing that one? Yeah, I think that's the joint here. Yeah, Sophie's definitely one of my favourite producers around. This one is one. Now there's 4 different tracks. Now the problem here is I don't know which one is which. I know that Dimmy Angelis and Henning Bear are both on this, but I don't think it's a split 12. I think it might be 4 tracks by different people. And it's on Non-Series, which is Sykes' label. All fairly loopy stuff, but all good DJ tools. Yeah, gradually evolving track, sort of. Oh yeah, very 90s sounding there. Okay, a bit of a different vibe on that one. Now, this one is another one on Mord. This one is by Radial. Which is Jerome Liebgretz. And I know I've got the pronunciation completely wrong. I know you're meant to go Huron or something like this, but I can't do it. I'm sorry, I'm not Dutch, and I'd make a fool of myself if I tried to pronounce it the way you guys do. But someday I'm going to try and master how to say Huron or whatever. But I'm just going to... No, I'm not going to say it my way because it's not the right way. But anyway, Radial. Who's a killer producer, and actually, if you're interested in some of his older stuff, go back to Audio Assault, the label him and Bass Moy used to run. Plenty of good stuff on that, and Arms as well. This is the one though. This is the one. It has this vocal you'll hear in a moment. Kick drum, really nice, really good track. Oh, I didn't play the other one, but I don't know. I guess that's just my favourite one. Yeah, grand. Now on to the next one. The first one there was my favourite, or the one before that at least. The vocal. So this one is on Them Records. by a guy called Hiroyuki Iizuka. And as ever, it comes in a really nice cover. This is called the Voodoo EP. Yeah, rolling, broken sound. Yeah, this is on Them Records, who also run a record shop in London called Container Records. Yeah, this is the one I've been playing a little bit on it. I'm playing the most, at least. If some of you remember Punish Records, actually Glenn Wilson and Mike Humphrey's label, not a million miles away from some of the stuff that used to be on that. Yeah, there's definitely room for more of these kind of records, kind of steppier, hard edge techno. And this guy has been doing it for years as well. You may remember stuff of his on Coda Records, which was a James Ruskin label, from what I remember. This one is by Todd Signs. Very Dan Bell influenced, but he is actually doing music for quite a few years, from the 90s. He's had material out on Planet E, some of you may remember. Yeah, minimal techno in the best sense. This is actually that was a little bit harder there. Well, it was. There we go. This is actually a reissue. It's on Residual Recordings. When was it actually from? It should say here somewhere. 1998 is when it came out. Actually, funny, the mastering here is by Oliver Lieb, but the cut was done by Horg Henze. WJ Hens was his most common production name, and he's actually someone who I've asked about recently with a few people. What happened to him? WJ Hens did a massive amount of stuff in the 90s and in the 2000s as well, but kind of disappeared. He's kind of one of these guys, a little bit like Andreas Kalfelt. You'll see his name in the mastering credits more so than actually in the production credits on the record now. That said, I haven't seen his name on a record in quite a few years, so yeah. Okay, nice stuff there. Yeah, I'm not sure if Todd Signs, if he's actually making new stuff. He's from Detroit, I think. Yeah, well, that's clearly I Can't Keep Up. And yeah, it's called Can't Keep Up. Yeah. Quirky minimal stuff there. Yeah. Slightly deeper. Detroit bass stuff. Now, what we got? Yeah, this Truncate release. This is Truncate 14. And sorry, but I don't know everyone that's on this, and I meant it was one of the last things I meant to check it before we did this. I'm pretty sure Dustin Zahn has a remix on this. I think I know that anyway. Well, I think, yeah. But I don't know which one is which on this, or if it's even all remixes. I think it is. Maybe there's one original from Truncate. Acid line coming in there. Okay, a bit slower. This is the one now I've been playing the most.
How's your body?
Quite a lot of some of the stuff that Brian Zentz used to do, actually. Obviously, with an acid line, you could compare it to many different producers, but Brian Zentz used to have an alias called Barada. Some of you, I'm sure, know it. Doesn't sound a million miles away. I think that might be the Dustin Zahn remix. Could be wrong. This one is on Unknown Entity, which is a really good label from Scotland, I believe they're from. Remixes on this as well. There's one by Lag. Now I'm not too sure.
And the same.
Yeah, definitely for fans of Blauen or Randomer. But it's definitely got a different range of sounds on it for sure. Now this one, which one is this? Is this the Scala Mariah? Again, and I know Nicola laughs at me sometimes because I don't get the pronunciation of his name right. And we've met a few times and he's told me this is how you say it, but I'm still not sure if I've got a Scala Mariah. Yeah, I think that's the Scala Mariah remix. Now onto the flip. It's another original by Unknown Entity. This is the Lag remix. Pretty sure it is. Could be wrong. The use of the vocal there sounds a little bit more like Lag. Could be wrong though. Should have really checked. Yeah, 4 strong tracks. That's an Unknown Entity. I think the finished copy is going to probably look better than that. I just wrote on the catalog number on it myself. Now this one is by. Okay, it says Beat Movements here. And these guys gave me this in, I think, Affect Club in Frosinone, if I remember correctly. I didn't really get much info or anything. I just obviously listened to it when I got home. Fuck, and that actually reminds me, there's another record I should have really had on here tonight. Damn. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes with this crate, it's literally, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but here and there are a few records that I just don't find them in time, or afterwards I go, oh shit, I left that there, or that was there, or that was in that sleeve there. Generally I'm organised with this, but it's here and there. I might put a record on a different shelf and then forget about it, and this is reminding me that I've forgotten about one that I really meant to play today. But anyway, next time. fairly kind of loopy stuff, but good DJ tools. Oh, that actually, this reminds me a little bit of old drum code stuff, actually. Maybe not the hat rhythms, but the sound itself. Okay, and there it says D-leria as well, and that's on okay, the catalog number is DLBM. Can we get any better info? No. Okay, D-leria, and the other person was called Beat Invasion, I think. Beat Movement, even. Sorry, where I get Beat Invasion from. Now, this one is by a producer called CWA, and this is on Parachute Records. Steppier kind of business. And it's called, this first track's called Blasting. So it could be called Blasting, but they've actually added an extra T into it, which I like. Yeah. Fair amount of trickery and programming gone into that one. This one is, yeah, there's 3 tracks actually on this side. Pretty mentalist programming. Now onto the last one. Name of the record is called Ringleader, by the way. Now on the flip. Ooh, it sounds a bit faster. The menacing bass there. Yeah, good range of tracks on that one. It's on Parachute Records, as I said. This one is on Bunker, and it's a reissue by Unit Mobius. And it's actually the very first Bunker release. Mobius then would have included IF. I think Unit Mobius now, it's the name he's assumed, or that he's changed it to, is Unit Mobius Anonymous, and I think it's just one producer now. But originally I think Unit Mobius might have been 3 different people or something. Definite acids pioneers in their own way, and with a big love for Chicago and their stuff too. Yeah, nice that they reissued this actually. Wasn't expecting it. Didn't have it. Now moving on, we got one from Vernon Felicity, who I think is Conforce. This one is on Clone Basement Series, I think. the one so far. Ooh. Yeah, altogether a quite spacey offering, very dense kind of sound as well from Perk and Felicity. Not too fast either, which I like. Now this one is on 47 on Tommy 47's label. First tune here is from Cosmo TRG. Yeah, and Tommy's been building up good momentum with this now. This is the 7th release already, and all of the records have been strong. They're all various artist EPs as well, so quite a few artists involved so far. And he also does a club night, a night under the same 47 banner, where he gets people who are on the record to also play. He runs that in Arena Club in Berlin. Watch out for it if you're over there and it's on. This one's by Eom Maac. Dark Mood. Now on the flip, Cesar. Who are a duo from Manchester, who are great. I really love their stuff. Nice to see them in this. And then finishing off with Tommy. That reminds me of guess a little bit Haeken-y, but reminds me of something else. Nice one by him to close off the EP. Now next up is Rose, or Rose, whatever way you're meant to say it. This one is on Infrastructure. Atmosphere in his tunes. He does put out a fair amount of stuff. His own label, I suppose is how you pronounce it, I think. I've seen one of those in a while actually. It's interesting now that he is putting out full EPs on other labels. And certainly Infrastructure is a good place to do it. It's interesting because in a sense like Sandwell District, and don't forget Rose was one of the last artists to release on that. He had quite a bit of material out in Sandwell District before it ended. It's interesting hearing some of these records now because there's been so many records of this type made since Sandwell District emerged and put out all of that stuff. Now when you hear one of them by one of the original crew, you kind of it doesn't tend to maybe stand out as much or sounds so original, but yeah, it should be remembered that that Rose was part of the Sandwell District crew who helped push that sound. It's still decent. It's not my favourite one by him, but still decent. This one is by the Phantom Planet Outlaws, which is a John Heckel, Binny and Mark Horshaw. They've had stuff out before on Tabernacle and on Apartment Records, and it's great. I love it. I love all their stuff individually, but the three of them together, yeah. Like an old Robert Armani track or something. And that's on their own label. I'm assuming it's their own label. It's called Boss Trax. Watch out for that one. This one is on a label called, and I think it's called Stealth Mission. The info's on the back here. So there's, who's on it? Naked Eye People, Barrow Boy. Who is Barrow Boy? Is that Mark Broom or Ben Sims or someone? I can't remember actually. Something like that. This is the one I've been playing. Now let's see who this is so we can give credit to them. Oh yeah, that's the B-side. Yeah, this is the Mike Storm one. Got these nice little edits as well here and there. Yeah, like everything I've heard Mike Storm do so far has been Jeff Mills inspired, but he does it quite well. So Barrow Boy one, and then the first one on that side was Naked Eye People, and then Bobby Durst was on the other side, or the first one on the other side. Now this one is by Rays. This is on their own label. It's on Droid Behavior. I noticed the cat number is V or V. Yeah. So I'm slightly confused. Is the label called V or V? I would have thought Droid Behavior had more out than 7 releases. I think this is Rays' own label. And Rays have been putting out some really strong records. Big room techno in the best way. This one is a Silent Servant remix. Now on the flip we've got Cell Injection, which I'm assuming is drum cell and audio injection together. It's nice, quite functional. It's this one that I'm going for the most, I gotta say. Kind of gets... sometimes makes all the difference. Yeah, that's my favourite on that. And that is the Submersive remix. But all in all, 3 good tracks there. This one is, the next one is by Robert Armani, Domina Trax. Now, all of them Robert Armani? No, there's a few. Oh shit, hang on. So they're all reissued ones. everybody has that record or that track. It's come out in so many different 12 inches or different issues of it, and there's quite a few different versions of it. Yeah, again, this one is Robert Armani and Ghetto Blaster. Gotta say, I've never seen Ghetto Blaster's name around. I missed it, or I don't know if Ghetto Blaster is a newer producer who has been editing some of these himself, or maybe he's someone from back then. Maybe it's Paul Johnson, I don't know. I don't know, maybe I should know this, but I don't. And this one is the Traxman rework of Robert Armani, and Trackman is Paul Johnson. Paul Johnson and Robert Armani are cousins as far as I know. And did a hell of a lot of good stuff together. Now, this one is by Cassegrain. I think this is on their own label, is it? It's Arcs number 2, or sorry, Arcing C. Or is that somebody else's label? I can't actually remember. I can see the name. Yeah, for me, I think it was about the B1 mostly. Oh, it's a little bit of the yeah. Definitely preferring this side's more tension in this one. Keeps building and then drops out. So that's that one. On Arcing Seas by Cassegrain. Next up is one on Jack for Days, which is another clone related label. This is the one that I like the most. It's by R2. That vocal sample. Mr. Ho now is next up. Yeah. Very playable party tracks, party techno, if we can call it that. Rushmore is next. And then Alden Terrell finishes it off. So a shuffly number. Yeah, definitely have it in a similar, very much the template of the stuff he was doing with Surge as well. Now, moving on, and we've got a couple coming up from Headfront Panel. This is number 12. And he's taking no prisoners here, as they say. Vocal a la Oliver Ho. Does on this as well. It's a pretty deadly effect. That's Headfront Panel 12, and there is another one coming up on that shortly, number 11. This one is on Arts, it's by a guy called Shlomo, who's had a lot of records out. over the last year. This one is this one of the original tracks? Let's see. Sorry, I've done this a bit too late. Yeah, it's the A side. With a melody that sounds slightly like something Inigo Kennedy would do, and they've actually got Inigo Kennedy to do a remix on it. Yeah, definitely back to sounding like something Inigo would have done on Asymmetric years back. Then on the other side, another slow-mo tune. Fairly functional kind of stuff, and then with a remix from the label boss Emmanuel. Right, and then next up, one from Katans. I'm not too sure when this one came out. It's on Wolf School. One of the tunes here is from Katans and another producer called Cracked as well. Yeah, that's the one I've been playing the most. Yeah, again, has that randomer style vibe on it. All about the drums here. There's a lot of presence on the system, that one. Yeah, nice bit of swing on these. Really well produced. Thing when drum and bass producers, Icicle is a gentleman's name. A lot of these guys, when they come to make techno, do a really good job. This one is by Scalamaraya, who I don't know if I've got his name pronounced right yet. But this is his solo offering on Perk Trax, and this one's an absolute monster. There's yeah, really big reaction tune. Heavyweight stuff from him, and then there's another two episodes. Jagged stuff there. Okay, nice one to close it out. Moving on here, maybe we'll go to the other head from Panel records. It's a bit of a blaster again. Rocking that one. Great work from John Heckel. That's head from Panel 11. Gotta say, overall this time it's maybe a little bit, definitely leaning a lot more on the harder techno side. I would have liked to maybe picked up a bit more electro or a few other bits over the 3 months, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. This one is by Heat. The riff reminds me slightly of an old Planetary Assault Systems record. Like the drums are nothing like it, but the actual riff reminds me a little bit of Pete's Frog. But this is by Heat, aka Chris Fink. And he's also been doing stuff as Body Jack as well, but the Heat stuff is his harder techno stuff. We'll roll it. Yeah, they kind of start. They all seem to start off fairly mean, and then he brings in a lot of extra percussion then as well, and funks them up a little bit. Solid 4-tracker from him. Another one on Moored, as I said. Quite a few on that label on this episode. This one is from Headless Horseman, and it's actually on Electron's label. Electron Gramophone. That's grand, yeah, but I think it's the A-side tune I've been playing. Not a million miles away from Monolake, actually. Certainly in that kind of ballpark. Perhaps a bit on the darker side. Yeah, nice one. Headless Horseman. And his first solo EP outside of his own label, I believe. This one is by Surgeon, and the name of this EP is Bland Ambition, and it's on Dynamic Tension. Yeah, all quite morbid stuff. Yeah, old useful DJ Tool type tracks. This one is by Pfirter. Shit, and I actually had another one on. Let me see. Hang on. Okay, Fury. This is Dennis Sulta, though, isn't it? Did I get that wrong? It says Dennis Sulta, and then it says Fear E CT Trax. Is it a? Whoever it is, yeah. Well, it doesn't say Dennis Sulta anywhere on the records, but on the actual price and info there, it says something about Dennis Sulta. I don't know. It is then. Like a Dynarect track or something there. Yeah. Sounds like an old UR monster there, that one, and Dixon Basement Avenue Jams, slightly different direction for them. This one is on Don't Recordings, and it's some older Robert Amani tracks reissued, who we were talking about and playing something by earlier.
Let me hit that ass. Turn around. Let me hit that ass.
possibly the most well-known one of this, well, to some people's ears.
Tear this motherfucker up. I'ma tear this mother.
Yeah, it's worth getting. It's on Don't Recordings, which is Jerome's original label. Now let's see. Here is one by Mike Parker, and it's on Tresor. Oh shit, I'm actually just losing a Tresor sticker there, or something or other that fell out. Oh, it's a download code thing. Yeah, and I think we've established here before that Mike Parker's stuff is very much most of his records sound the exact same, but he does here and there. I don't know, and this is nothing against Mike Parker, but it's actually what I find. I really love Mike Parker's sound, but then I hear a few records and go, oh shit, they all sound the same. But if you actually don't get them for a while and just say, right, I'm not getting that Mike Parker record, and actually wait a few releases, then you come back to one and it sounds really fresh again. So it's interesting. Like, I know from record to record there are going to be little changes, but generally it's the same range of sounds and style of production all the time. But yeah, I was kind of going for the Tresor one a little bit more this time. Hypnotic techno grooves. He's definitely one of the best in this area. So that's that one. Right, what's next? Oh, this one is by David Carbone. And this, I think, is just on his own label, which is called Carbone Records or something. Pretty mean stuff. And I think anyone who's seen David play can completely relate to the tracks he makes as well. He plays really fast and fierce. There's a lot of energy behind the decks. And then on the flip. Me a little bit of some of the old kind of Force Inc. and maybe even like the kind of stuff that Biochip C used to put out, or some of those guys, Dr. Walker, etc. There's yet another one on Moored Records. Like I said, I have quite a few on Moored in this episode. This one is by Neil Landstrom, and it's probably the most un-Moored Records track that's been released on the label so far. Really nice range of tracks on this label, and I think it's good here and there to have like just one original track and have 3 different interpretations from people on the label, especially on a label like Moored. This one is the Lag remix. We had that remix earlier in the broadcast. Nice, that one. Then on the other side, we've got Ansem. usual psychotic blend of hard techno. And then this is the Headless Horseman remix. That's another nice flavour to that. Okay, so let's see, we're nearing the end now. This one is by Kamikaze Space Program, and it's on Neighborhood. Speaking of drum and bass producers, Kamikaze Space Program used to make drum and bass as well. Was it Raiden? Was that the name he used to use? Sorry, I should know that, but I think it was. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm sorry about that, but I think it was Raiden was the name he used to go under. Chris, really nice guy actually, and one of the best new techno producers really of the last few years. Probably known from some of his EPs on Mode Evolver as well. And this one is on Tasha's label Neighborhood. I think this is the second release yet. Trademark rhythms there. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what way this label goes. Already it seems to have have a little bit of an identity in terms of the producers that have appeared and the tracks that have appeared so far. Randomer and Katans were the first release. And let's get on to the flip. Straight ahead this one. Yeah, unusual choice of lead sound. Definitely somebody coming with a fresh take on techno, this Kamikaze Space Program. This one is by another alias, and this is his new release. I'm not sure when this one is out, but it's on a new label called White of My Eyes, and you may remember another alias from his track on New York Trax Imports from not so long ago. But this appears to be the first track on his new label. Another alias is, as I've said before, is a producer from Rathfarnham. Dermot Bateman is his name. And his brother is a really good mechanic as well. If you need your MCT done or anything like that, look up Paddy Bateman. I don't know if he advertises himself as a mechanic, but he's done a good job on my car quite a lot. So yeah, Paddy Bateman, who will actually be hearing from me pretty soon, because I've got my NCT soon enough actually, which I still haven't confirmed with them. You know the way they send you something, you're just like, yeah, whatever, and then it's like 2 weeks away or so. Oh fuck. But okay. Anyway, yeah, getting back to his brother Dermot, who's made these tunes. Yeah, I like that bouncy techno one. Yeah, I think for a first release, this is fairly impressive. Broken beats here. Yeah, really good offering there from him. And the label, just in case, White of My Eyes, and it's by another alias. So Rustle, excuse me, Rustle has done this one, and this I think is his first vinyl release. He's another Irish producer. Peter Sweeney is his name. This is a Brendan Moeller remix. Some of you might know as The Ecologist, or is it Ecologist, or is it The Ecologist? I'm not too sure. Yeah, it's nice how the kick kind of pulls against the groove there. Nice stuff. Dense sounding. And then on the other side then are two original tracks from Rustle. Yeah, Peter's been making music for quite a few years now, actually. He's still not that old either. There's another alias that, and I actually forget the name they used. They were making some really good stuff a few years back, but I think, yeah, he's just doing solo stuff now. And a fine first offering from him. 60% sounding groove, but with a good hefty kick there. A nice use of vocals as well, which are always welcome. Now moving on, we've got one from Ordinate, or Ordinate. This one is on their own label. It's their first release. They actually sent me a tape as well, and thanks a lot for that, guys. I didn't bring the tape in, obviously, because wouldn't be able to play. Well, we might be able to play it, but we don't. Is there a tape player here? Yeah, there is. Maybe we could have played the tape actually. Yeah. Well. Anyway. Yeah, you may know the guys, Spaces and JP Hartnett. They had a track on the Earwiggle double pack number 10, which was a killer actually. Oh, that's interesting actually, and it wasn't planned, but that's three releases in a row that are all Irish based, or Irish producers at least, Irish acts. Probably these guys though live over in London. Spaces has been doing some stuff, some solo stuff, and did some production on the last Bjork album as well. Yeah, moving on to the flip. The kick is kind of buried there. There's a lot of music of that type where it can kind of go to mush sometimes, but the kick kind of hangs in there the whole way. It's nice. This is the one now. This is the one for me. Actually, I'll play from the beginning. It's a nice set opener. lot of music that's described as dark, a lot of techno, and it's not at all. But that one is. That's from Ordinate. We have a change in style here. This is by Big Miz, and this is another one on Dixon Basement Avenue Jams. There's always a kind of a happy or vaguely kind of cheesy track or two in some of these Dixon Avenue Basement Jams, but this is the one I may have got it for. Nicely done. Only if I had one more by Die Witness vocal sample there. I'm not sure where they took it from actually, because presumably they did take it from somewhere too. Anyway, that's that one. Moving on, Inigo Kennedy. This one is on Token. Yeah, he's really nailed his sounds, these kind of big slabs of melodic techno. Strong one from him. He's had so many EPs out in Token actually, and if you ever get the chance, make sure you get to see him DJ. He's definitely one of the best in the game. This one is by Mike Parker and Donato Dozzi. So that sounds like it was done in Donato Dozzi's studio, maybe. This sounds like it was made in Mike Parker's. Who knows? Maybe they made them together, but definite. You can definitely hear the contrasts. Sequence there, and that's on Spazio, I think that's the name of the label there. Now moving on, what have we got? Drag. This is on Christopher Joseph's label, Flex Seal. garage stuff, and that's by a producer called Drag. Definitely intensifies a lot as the tune goes on there. Yeah, I think a little bit more linear than some of the other Flex Seal ones I've heard, but definitely a strong sounding record. Yeah, we played that. Yeah, let's go to this one. This is Eom Maac, and it's on Bedouin. Now, the thing that Eom Maac did for this was he sourced a lot of samples from different countries. So I think he got stuff from Iraq, India, and where's the other place? Morocco. And tinkers around with them. Came up with an interesting blend of stuff on this. Yeah, that's what I like, not only about Ian's music but about Bedouin the label as well. They're very very open-minded, and although some of the tracks work on the dance floor, it's certainly not the main aim of the label to be just doing dance floor bangers. It was a good interesting mix of stuff. To the flip. Oh, what's that remind me of? Reminds me a little bit of the Drum Club. I don't know if anyone will remember that. I'm sure a few people will, which was Charlie Hall's project. It did some really nice stuff in the 90s. God, I remember there was a really horrible story about Charlie Hall, and I'd say a lot of people could empathise, especially who are watching this. His shed or his house or wherever it was that he had all his records in burnt down, as far as I remember. So the story went, and he lost all his records, his whole record collection, apparently. So yeah, let's take a moment to a moment of silence maybe to remember Charlie Hall's record collection. Obviously lucky he wasn't in there when the fire was happening, but it did seem like his whole record collection got wiped out. So yeah, anyway, so the story went anyway. Gilmer Galabard, who is a producer from the Canary Islands. Is that the sample from Capella? I think it is. Take Me Away. Oh, which was previously used actually before that as well. Sounds like a little bit of a mashup of that. This one's on Turbo. Definitely quite blowy sounding, that one. tribal sound there. Yeah, watch out for this guy, he's doing some good stuff at the moment. He also appeared on the Lobster Theremin. Yeah, where are we? We're coming close to the end now. Here's one by Blue Hour. This is called Unearthed. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that that era of Samuel L. Session and those kind of guys. Tribal sounding techno. Maybe like Oliver Ho or something there, that one. Now what have we got? We've got another one on Token actually. Yeah, it's one episode now where I'm noticing a lot of stuff on some of the same labels pop up multiple times. This one is by Phase. I think there's a remix on this. Yeah, there's an OVR remix. Sure if that is the OVR. Yeah, that is. And then this is the Phase remix, or the Phase original, or the Phase mix of that original tune by Phase. Yeah, a little bit of a contrast in that. Phase is a little bit more straight ahead. Solid one there. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, I wanted to play that Unvelt one. This is out on a new Killy Kill related label called Baudet, is it? Or Boy Day? I don't know, maybe it's a word I'm not aware of. But anyway, the name of the album is called Days of Descent. Belt is an absolute master. Yeah, it's great to see him getting so many releases out and getting the credit he deserves. Kind of does the classic electro sound, but with a real kind of melancholic edge to it. And then on the other hand, he does a lot of this rougher, distorted electro as well. With some powerful lead lines. So that's the first disc on that. Yeah, and as well as playing in a club, I think it would definitely be a good one to listen to at home as well. So, only for club use, like so many of the records I've been playing. Slower. we at? Yeah, we've just got a few more to go, and I think this might set a new record for the quarterly crate, or at least bring it back in a direct. No, well, it's not setting a new record, but we're going back in another direction. This is going to be a shorter edition than the last one, I believe. This one was by Gonzo MBF. And Gonzo and Marco are two guys that run the night called Counterweight over in Munich, where I had the pleasure of playing their night in Rotterdam. And I don't know how good my pronunciation is, but this is a new label they've started, and Gonzo has done the first release. He actually made this really good edit as well of Sage Fade to Grey that he was playing that night. I definitely encourage him to bootleg it or do something with it. They definitely seem to be keeping the hard sound of techno safe in Munich at the moment. Yeah, for his first release, I think it's a fairly solid offering here. And that's on Counterweight. That's Counterweight number 1. Next up we've got one by Myler, on Ear to Ground. Shout out to Garrett Wild. Heavy jacket stuff here from Myler. Yeah, definitely some of my favourite material from Myler so far. Strong record. There's a lock groove somewhere, I think, on this as well. Chopped up brakes. Yeah, there's a lock groove there. Yeah, definitely something more uplifting there. Watch out for that one. It's inside the B2 or the B3 even. This one is by Perk and Randomer. Some Perk tracks again. Collaborations, it's not always where you'll hear a tune where you can kind of hear the both of them in it, but I think alongside here is the one where you can. Yeah, three strong tracks from Ali and Rohan. Yeah, moving on, I've got Tripo and Katans. When did this? I'm feeling this came out a while ago and I picked it up late. I could be wrong. Because I played a Katans one earlier, and I think there's one of either this one or the one I played earlier is perhaps an older title. But it kind of allows for the various types of atmosphere to seep through. Nice sequences here. Yeah, so the inside cut there is arguably the one. Now this one is on Avian and it's by Pris. Would that sound like a 45? Oh no. There's a bit of this kind of stuff around at the moment, but for Pris, I haven't heard him do so much of that before. But yeah, he's taken a good new direction recently for sure. Definitely very worthy of the Avian tag. Release on that. Actually, Avian, they did go quiet for a little while, but then kind of seems to be coming back with a bunch of stuff again. Okay, so that's an Avian. Now here is one by DJ Skull, the old Chicago hero, Ron Maney. Yeah, and it's nice to hear hear more techno with a little bit of kind of natural funk and swing. I gotta say, I'll openly admit there's not enough of this around. There's not enough funk and techno really these days. But it's certainly good to hear some of the old guys like Skull, and it's interesting actually because I think over the years Skull, because a lot of Skull's old stuff was a lot harder and more unforgiving, but certainly a lot of his more recent material has been a lot funkier. The flip. Oh yeah, what label's this on? I'm not sure actually. It's on MTH Q4-2016 is the catalog number, but I'm not sure what the actual label is. Solid stuff there. I seem to be saying solid stuff a lot today for some reason. Yeah, there's a lot of solid stuff around these days. Sometimes not as much mind-blowing techno as I'd like, but we're in good times at the moment. There is a lot of solid stuff coming out, as I said. Yeah, from one master to another. That was DJ Skull. This is Mark Room, and this one is on, what label is this on? Auto Reply. Mark's always done this pulsing dub techno stuff so well. It's sometimes not highlighted, I think, the range of music he's made over the years, and his contribution to techno. He's never been a hype act, and there's an awful lot of producers and DJs like him who really deserve so much more credit, considering the amount of great records they put out. And of course, if you do like some of his deeper stuff, check out the Visitor alias as well that he used to do on D1 recordings from Dublin. Was it him and Dave Hill together, or was it? I think it was just him on his own, and then Ruiz was him and Dave Hill, or was Visitor him and Dave Hill as well? I can't remember. It might have been two of them together. But I think the whole idea of the Visitor name was that he was overplaying here for D1, so he was a visitor, and that's how the name came about. Minimal there. And now, near the end, we have two more to go. This one is by Nihad Thule, if I've got the pronunciation right, and label boss Par Grinvik together. I'm spaced out here. Sounds like all Planetary Soul Systems, actually, that one. Moving on. On Stockholm Limited, by the way. And then finally, and then slightly deeper one, that tune. Moving on to the last record then, and it's by Matt Whitehead, and it's on Super Rhythm Trax. And there's a nice range of stuff on this as well, because there's a bit of electro, and then old school gear here. indie stuff there. Yeah, there's 5 tracks here, although the inside cut is actually an a cappella, well, if you can call it that. It's actually the acid line for A is for acid, which he previously released on Don't, which got re-released, remastered version, I think, on Perk Trax. Sounds a bit like Jesus Loves the Acid there. Yes, oh, that's it for this time. Thanks a lot for listening and watching. Until next time, goodbye.